With Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and this was another great question that came in from one of my followers about deep cleanings before braces or Invisalign. Is it a scam? Do you need it? Do you not? So let's talk about that. I'm glad to give you my honest opinion. Remember, orthodontists aren't going to do deep cleanings. They're going to probably recommend that you have a general dentist or a pediatric dentist, and they are going to probably check for a release. I use something called a cavity clearance. I also have something called a perio clearance. These are documents that I have. And by the way, if you work with me as a concierge member or a VIP member, you get access to all my documents. If you want to purchase documents, we do also have them for sale. Most of them, many of them are in our document store. They're not all there. I have like hundreds. So you can just tell me what you need, or if I mention something, let me know. But they are free for our concierge and VIP members. In any case, the question is about deep cleanings. Now, before I was an orthodontist and before anyone is an orthodontist in the US, you have to be a general dentist first. That means you become a certified licensed general dentist. Then you go on to become a specialist, which is another usually around 3 years of additional training in a hospital-based environment for orthodontics. So we've got all the knowledge that a general dentist has, we just don't do that anymore. So granted this was 20 years ago, but from my experience and from what I remember before, a deep cleaning is defined as a cleaning that's below the gum line. So like here, this kind of dirty teeth, there's stuff that's above the gum line, right? You can see it. You can see the calculus. All calculus is, or tartar, is hardened plaque. Plaque is poopy, dookie, doo-doo, from bacteria that's on your teeth. Everyone has bacteria in their mouth. It's just part of the oral flora. Your mouth should not be sterile, just like your gut is not sterile. That whole tube is not sterile. That's just part. This is normal flora that helps to keep your gut, your mouth, the other hole, all healthy and balanced. So that's normal. You shouldn't be using types of stuff to sterilize your mouth because that's not meant to be sterile. But you want to have normal oral flora. So when you're getting this much plaque and stuff, there's not normal oral flora. There's an imbalance of flora because you're not mechanically removing the bacteria. So you do have to mechanically remove your bacteria. Now, if your diet is heavy with carbohydrates, sugars, sugary drinks, juices, sodas, energy drinks, things like that, coffees, teas, rice, breads, pastas, you're going to have a lot more plaque than somebody who's eating more paleo kind of diet, vegetables, meats, stuff like that, because these are sugar bacteria. They feed on carbohydrates. So if you're going to eat that kind of diet, you're going to have to be very meticulous about cleaning your teeth afterwards. And obviously, the more crowded your teeth are, the more there's crevices and places for things to hide. And it's a lot more difficult to just brush the plaque away. You're going to have to be very meticulous with interdental picks and Sonicares and real floss, not just floss picks, water picks. I mean, it could take you 10 minutes to clean your teeth each night if you have crowded teeth. But once it gets to the point where you've had tartar and plaque on your teeth for a long time, the plaque is going to harden and turn into tartar after a few days. And you're not going to be able to get it off. I mean, I know how to get it off. I mean, I clean my teeth at home. I have all the instruments and click, 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 click. I just, clean my own teeth. Do I need to have my teeth professionally cleaned? Very rarely, because I can do it myself. If I don't do a good enough job with my floss, my toothbrush, my Sonicare, and all the armamentarium that I have, and everyone in my family has a lot of stuff to clean their teeth. My kids are the same way. They have everything. They don't just use a regular toothbrush. You can do a good job with regular toothbrush and floss. It's just a lot harder. So then very rarely, like maybe every year or two, I have to go into the hygienist and have them, there's a spot I can't get. Sometimes there's some random spot on the back of an upper tooth or behind one of these ones where I burnish it and I just can't get it off myself. And I have them help me. But usually the hygienists kind of laugh and say this cleaning was a joke. It was the easiest cleaning of my life because there really isn't anything on my teeth. But this person clearly was not doing a good job, probably has a bad diet, and everything kind of built up. So I guarantee you there's also stuff under the gums that has hardened. That is why you need a deep cleaning. So have I ever had a deep cleaning? Never in my life. And I'm not that young. So never needed one. They go and they do the x-rays and the probes, and all my probing depths are 2s and 1s and 2s and 1s and 2s and 1s. And you can tell there's infection here because see this red line? This is an infection of the gums, okay? So this person has an infection. This person's going to need a deep cleaning, and they're probably going to need, it's going to be uncomfortable. So they're probably going to have to get numbed up, and they're probably going to go quadrant by quadrant. They're probably just going to clean one whole arch or 1/4 of the mouth at one time, because it's going to take them an hour or so to get everything out, and it's going to bleed a lot during the cleaning, and then they're going to have to really take care of it so that this never ever happens again. So yeah, some people need deep cleanings before ortho, because we absolutely can't be moving these teeth when they're this infected. First of all, they're not going to move properly if there's all this junk in here. Second of all, they could potentially fall out. I mean, that's below standard of care, and you could lose your license if you take a case like this with braces or Invisalign. You have to clean them and make their gums healthy first, and then move their teeth. And they have to stay healthy throughout the treatment. So if somebody's not taking care of their teeth during treatment, sometimes you have to stop the treatment. If they don't go get their cleanings done and take care of their home care, the treatment may have to be interrupted or ended before it's done, and you probably won't get your money back because you're not fulfilling your part of the bargain. Usually there's some of a contract that you have here that says you have to keep your home care going. We call that part of compliance. So compliance is keeping your appointments. Compliance is keeping your teeth and gums healthy, going to your regular appointments, and doing what you need to do with your regular general dentist. So yeah, you might have to get a deep cleaning before you have ortho. But just because you haven't been to the dentist in a year does not mean you need a deep cleaning, okay? Like I said, I don't go every year because I don't need to. But I only know this because I'm a dentist and I'm married to a dentist. So, like, we're good. As a matter of fact, my kids don't even go every year because they have immaculate home care and great straight teeth, and they own every product out there, and they know how to use them, and they actually floss, and they're teenagers. Not all teenagers do this, but they understand what is needed. Also, we don't have dental insurance, so we don't want to take a spot for a paying, patient in our office unless we really actually need it. So, but in any case, so if any dentist, is what I'm getting at, is telling you haven't been in a year, therefore you need a deep cleaning, say, first of all, okay, show me my pocketing. I want to see my perio pocketing. If you have 4s and 5s, absolutely, you probably do need one. But if they're all 1s and 2s, you should really question that. And there's no redness or signs of plaque or calculus on your teeth, I don't think I do, and that sounds like you probably would want a second opinion. I definitely would not be paying for that or even letting them bill my insurance for that. Because first of all, that goes in your permanent medical record that you're not taking care of yourself. So I wouldn't want that on my insurance, even if it is free. I mean, if I really needed it, for sure, that's my mistake for not taking care of myself or letting things go. But if I don't need it, no, I'm going to go find another dentist or I'm going to get a second opinion. But if they don't take the perio probings and the x-rays, how do you know? Another thing, if you take x-rays and you see calculus or hard deposits on the x-ray below the gum line, well then yeah, you need a deep cleaning. So hopefully I've given you some talking points so that if someone is trying to, I hate to say it, scam you out of money, and there's a lot of not too great dentists out there. I mean, there's a lot of great ones, but there's a lot, and it tends to be the people who work for these kind of clinics that really aren't owned by dentists. So you got to keep in mind, it's not that the dentists are bad, because we've all worked for those type of things. And I know I don't do cleanings, but I know my husband has worked for clinics where they tried to force him to do deep cleanings on people who really didn't need it. And, he quit. He was like, I'm not doing that. I could lose my license. This is not the truth. You're trying to tell me how to practice dentistry, and this is unethical. A lot of times these doctors are, honestly, they're bullied. And you won't necessarily know if this is a clinic or not. You cannot tell by the name, okay? Well, you can see who legally owns it. These are things you can look up on Google. And and sometimes they put it under a dentist's name, but ultimately if it's owned by a large chain or corporation, parent corporation, a lot of times that's how they make money, especially if they can bill insurance. So sometimes, but there's also private dentists that occasionally do this too. But for the most part, usually a solo private dentist, small kind of office with just a few chairs, as opposed to a giant clinic, is probably going to be more ethical. It's just how it is. But because the unethical people can't maintain that kind of practice status. But I'm just telling you the truth. All right. Thanks so much.